Joe, I want you to finish your story. Sorry I had to cut you off there a second, but I do have a full bank of calls, so I'm going to ask you to finish your story, but we'll keep it moving quickly. What's going on, Joe?
Okay, a pleasure. So here is what I said before was scientific, which is correct. And now I'm going to give you something that is kind of mystical, but it happened to me personally.
Great.
So it's not like a fable or I heard it from somebody else. So my brother passed away a little bit less than a year ago. My last name is Fuchs, pronounced in Europe as Fuchs. Fuchs translates to fox, F-O-X. When I was at the cemetery, this is really true, and I have people who were with me when it happened. At the cemetery, my brother was cremated. His remains were sprinkled over my mom and dad's grave, which was his request.
Nice.
And when we finish, a fox, F-O-X, a real-life fox, comes near us for a few seconds. We all see it, then runs into the distance. All of this happened in a matter of 10 seconds. It wasn't me, hopefully, or under drugs seeing strange things. We all saw it.
Nice.
So in terms of mystical, like a goodbye, thank you to me and my family. We had a representative come by our feet, hang out for a few seconds, and run into the distance.
Nice.
The likelihood of that happening in a cemetery at that time was nearly zero, but it actually happened.
That's awesome.
The universe, baby.
I love stories like that.
Yeah.
There's so many good stories like that. Hey, man, I really appreciate you sharing that story. I appreciate you coming in with that physics mentality, and I appreciate you listening to the show. I really, really do.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, guys.
I think those conversations are always so cool.
Yeah, so do I.
Like
I love
the fox rolling into the graveyard, butterflies showing up. That's a big one that shows up a lot. I just think like it's got to be real. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, and whether you believe it or not, I think I don't really think matters in the grand scheme of things. But again, if death was going to be a teacher, I think it presents itself as the fox or the butterfly to people who are on the fence about whether they believe in something after or not. And then you have these beautiful moments where you can feel it in your bones and you go, oh, yeah, there's definitely something more. And then the further you get away from that experience, you may slip back into the,
Right.
I don't know, the death is the end, but you'll always have that moment of the fox.
Yeah, and you'll never forget that. You'll that dude will never forget the fact that fox rolled up into the cemetery.
Yeah, man.
And that's real.
Yeah, I remember after my grandmother passed away, I like a couple months after, I had pretty vivid dreams at night, and when I meditate, I'm looking at where I have very vivid. I'll see things very vividly.
Right.
But when I saw my grandmother, it wasn't a dream because I could feel her touch me and I could smell her.
Oh, great.
And she was cooking pastina, which is what she always used to make me when I was a kid.
Right.
And I could taste it in the dream, and I was like, oh man, this is intense.
That is real.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was super awesome.
That's so cool. Well, our phone number, 1-800-771-1025. The goal today is to have a light and spirited conversation in and around death, the spiritual, the practical. Eddie is on right now. Something to discuss around the finality of life. Eddie, welcome to Let's Get Real. What's going on, my friend?
Great subject, guys. And I totally agree on the fact that it doesn't always have to be negative. It doesn't always have to be sad. I mean, of course, you go through your little phases and, your emotions and stuff, but it's something that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and a lot of people are afraid of it. Mom passed about 2 months ago.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Like 15 days before her birthday. She'd have been 78. Anyways, I'm still I'm having a tough time with the whole finality of it, if that's even a word. I think that is, but it's just something will pop in my mind. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll call Mom and ask her, and I can't.
Yeah.
I can't anymore. You know what I mean? I'm having a tough time with the whole finality. She knew I loved her. I knew she loved me. You know what I mean? So. But it's just, boom.
I wonder, Eddie.
Gone.
Yeah, I wonder. Now, let me just get a little weird here on you. Those moments, because it's still fresh. So applaud you for the courage to call today. I really appreciate that. But I wonder, I don't know, man. I wonder, if you just say out loud, Mom, what do I do in this situation? Mom, what do I do in blah, 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 or, something to that effect. If she would answer in her own way, no, you're not just going to be like texting, like, oh, look, mom's, buzzing me on this. It would probably have to show up a little different. But the conversation today is definitely saying that, like, these appearances exist, and that if you believe on a spiritual level, she's there anyway. I mean, how does that land with somebody who lost their mom 2 months ago?
Yeah. Listen, she only gave me good advice throughout my whole life. And I do, I talk to God every once in a while, but you know what? Her advice, I'm not going to say this is better than God, but she would have gave me damn near the same advice.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? Very positive. So, I don't know. That's what the hardest part is. I mean, you're supposed to go through the emotions of anger, and you're supposed to be sad, anger. I forget how they go, the progression of your emotions.
Yes.
I really didn't really go through that. I wasn't angry. I mean, I wasn't ready for her to go. I thought she was going to live forever.
Right.
Christ, the first person I met in my life. Her.
True.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
So,
Eddie,
I don't know.
You made me remember this story that I heard, and it touched me, and I hope it can do the same for you. Like when you think about her, how sometimes you get like that ball of emotion that you feel in your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the thought and the idea is that when you think about your mother and you feel that ball of emotion in your chest, and it kind of goes from love to grief back and forth, well, that's still technically her. So she's not actually gone. She's always going to be with you. And the lucky thing is, if she did give you the best advice ever, I could almost guarantee that the times that you have asked for her help, whether it's in your mind or out loud, you could hear and you already know the advice that she would give you. And that's her, man. That's still her. She's still with you through that advice, through that feeling. We are all just vibrational energy at the end of the day. And so
I believe that too, Spanish.
Yeah, man. So when you feel that vibrational energy in your chest, just acknowledge the fact that is her, man. And she's never going to leave you. That's how love works. Once you have that unconditional love, man, it's there forever.
Yep. I totally agree. And I appreciate that, Spanish. Thank you so much, man. Those are good words.
I love you, Eddie.
Love you too, man. All right, you guys, like I said, it's a good subject, and it doesn't have to always be negative. It's just, I don't know. My caller ID never says mom again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But listen, like you just said, I feel that in my heart, my stomach, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
man.
Her. That's her calling now.
100%, bro. And if you feel like it's getting overwhelming, just go lay down and close your eyes and just think about her. And I promise you'll start to see and hear things that you never thought would come.
Yeah, I listen to some of our favorite songs and some of the stuff that we used to do together. You know what I mean? That's where I go to my happy place.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. Hey, Eddie, I appreciate you calling.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Good subject.
Awesome, man. Have a good Saturday. Our phone number, 1-800-771-1025. Just having a real conversation today about death and just trying to keep it real and trying to keep it light.
Yeah.
That whole, because you and I have talked so much on the show about feeling and what it means to feel something. And I agree with you, though. It's been a while since I've lost somebody super close to me, that feeling is them. Yeah, letting themselves know that they're there.
I agree with you 100%.
Letting that presence known.
Yeah, because when, and it's funny how it happens because at least for me personally, it always will come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it's like a boot to the chest. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm feeling this grief or sadness. And then I'll just kind of sit with it and just let it happen. And then always sometime later, it turns to happiness and love. And then all of a sudden I'm remembering all these great memories. And like I said, if I've ever needed advice from my friend that has passed, it seems to come like I knew that's exactly what they would say in that moment. So it's not real, physically they might be gone, but I believe that our physical realm is supposed to end, but that doesn't mean the end.